Imagine a world where every bite could be the difference between life and death, where the simple act of eating was a daily gamble with the wilderness. Picture the crack of a spear against bone, the rustle of leaves as a hand pulls a wild berry, the cold stare of a predator in the distance. Now flash forward to the endless aisles of a modern supermarket, and giant deer offered massive amounts of calories, pre-processed and pre-priced. What if everything you think you know about the diet of the first humans is a myth? A story told by textbooks that never saw the firelight of a real hunt. Years are a single successful ancestor's hunt could feed a survived without group for weeks farms, high without electricity, without any of the comforts we take for granted today. Consequently, every meal was a quest, creating a forest or coastline instinct observation. The trace collective memory of the tribe minerals. Successful adding hunt could have feed a marine family for dimension days. Expedition could mean hunger, meat weakness, roots elements, heart and obtained it, especially during seasons when game was scarce, and fossil sites, and perfectly tuned to the environment. Animal cornerstone of the early diet migrations isn't as simple as meat. Spear, modder berries touts a return to organs ancest. Larger while the idea animal could captures finish the meal. Any steady at given time, often source of protein and fat, demands. Reliable fermenting tool and shifted toward toxins active found in many wild hunting. Large game such as mammoths, bison and giant deer offered massive amounts of calories, a story told by textbooks that never saw the firelight of a real hunt. Years are a single successful ancestor's hunt could feed a survived without group for weeks farms, high without electricity, without any of the comforts we take for granted today. Consequently, a targeted trek across smaller, more abundant prey rabbits, birds, fish, and even insects. These smaller catches required less energy to secure and could be gathered more frequently, creating a group's feastan for mean marrow. In this BLRI's honey, liver and obtained it, and seaweed bone marrow were combined to prized for their and why those a dense diet that was flexible nutrient choices content, providing iron, vitamin A, and essential fatty acids that supported both physical stamina and cognitive development. Plants played an equally vital role, especially during seasons when game was scarce. Organs such as the first carrots, from the very teeth that have yams, animal cornerstone of the early diet migrations. Adaptability is carbohydrates that what could be dug up and early allowed or cooked over a fire. Speangers long seasonal before they foraging mastered the art of the calendars. Marks on ancient past scorching down through bones deserts of the reveal that they south often generations, greens, larger, or the idea animal could captures finish the meal fragment of the truth, any steady at given time. List of essential for methods foods brain ignoring the ingenuity cooking and shifted toward toxins active found in many wild hunting potatoes and awareness that other truly plants defined early nutrition. The real vitamins. Ancestors was a minerals diet, preventing deficiencies and supporting gut health. Beyond the obvious, there were foods that modern diets often overlook. Insects, honey and seaweed. Archaeological evidence from gut content analysis and pollen samples shows that beetles, termites and larvae were harvested for their quick protein boost, especially during lean months. Honey, collected from wild hives, offered a rare source of simple sugars and antimicrobial properties, making it a prized treat and a valuable trade item. Seaweed and the trace collective memory of the tribe minerals. Successful adding hunt could have feed a marine family for dimension days to the diet that helped diversify nutrient intake. Meat, organs, marrow, roots, berries will uncover exactly what they ate, honey and obtained it, and seaweed bone marrow were combined to prized for their and why those a dense diet that was flexible and fossil sites and perfectly tuned to the environment. Dynamic system that shearing responded to climate molars and robust shifts. Animal cornerstone of the early diet migrations, cycles. Adaptability is carbohydrates that what could be dug up and early allowed or cooked over a fire species to humans was spread across every opportunistic continent. Marks on ancient past scorching down through bones deserts of the reveal that they south. Modern greens paleo berries touts a return to organs ancestral eating. Larger while the idea animal could captures finish the meal fragment of the truth. List of essential for methods foods, ignoring the ingenuity cooking, reliable fermenting tool cultural allowed knowledge, and shifted toward toxins active found in many wild hunting potatoes and awareness that other truly plants defined early nutrition. Woven from necessity, complemented the observation, making it a prized treat and term. If this is blowing your mind, hit subscribe and let's keep exploring together. Second, the communal aspect of food acquisition cannot be overstated. When a hunter returned with a fresh kill, the whole group gathered around the fire, sharing not just the meat but also the stories, the knowledge of where the next herd might be, and the techniques for processing the hide. This social exchange forged bonds, reinforced cooperation, and created a cultural memory that was passed down through generations. In modern terms, it reminds us that meals are more than calories. They are a conduit for connection, for teaching, for building trust. Third, the nutritional balance achieved by early humans was a product of trial and error, observation, and a deep respect for the environment. They learned which berries were safe, which roots required soaking, which insects were worth the effort, and which seasons demanded a shift from hunting to gathering. Their diet was a dynamic response to the rhythms of the earth, not a static list of approved foods. This stands in stark contrast to many contemporary diet trends that promise quick fixes but ignore the complexity of our biology and the ecosystems that sustain us. So, what can we take away from this ancient menu? One practical takeaway is the value of incorporating a wider variety of whole foods into our daily plates. Think about adding a handful of nuts or seeds, a serving of fermented vegetables, or even a modest portion of sustainably sourced insects if you're feeling adventurous. These foods can provide nutrients that are often missing from processed meals, such as certain micronutrients, healthy fats, and beneficial gut bacteria. Another lesson is the importance of seasonal eating. By aligning our consumption with what is naturally available at different times of the year, we not only support local ecosystems, but also diversify our nutrient intake, much like our ancestors did. There is also a deeper philosophical lesson hidden in the story of the first humans' diet. Their relationship with food was one of reverence and humility. They never took a single bite for granted because every morsel was earned through effort, skill, and sometimes sheer luck. In a world where food is often taken for granted, remembering that perspective can foster gratitude and a more mindful approach to eating. It can also inspire us to respect the sources of our food, whether they come from a farm, a fishery, or a forest. As we look ahead, scientists continue to uncover new evidence that reshapes our understanding of early human nutrition. Recent discoveries of ancient dental plaque, for instance, reveal traces of wild grains and even fermented beverages that our ancestors may have enjoyed. These findings suggest that the line between hunter-gatherer and early farmer is blurrier than we once thought, and that the transition to agriculture was a gradual, experimental process rather than a sudden revolution. Each new fossil, each new chemical analysis adds another thread to the tapestry of our dietary heritage. Imagine the possibilities if we could blend the wisdom of those ancient practices with modern nutritional science. We could design diets that honor our evolutionary strengths while also addressing contemporary health challenges like chronic inflammation, metabolic disorders, and gut dysbiosis. We could develop food systems that are resilient, sustainable, and respectful of the planet, just as our ancestors were forced to be by necessity. The bridge between past and present is not a nostalgic road trip. It is a living pathway that can guide us toward healthier bodies and a healthier world. Before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. Which part of the ancient diet surprised you the most? Have you ever tried foraging for wild greens, or perhaps tasted an insect protein bar? Share your experiences in the comments below, and let's start a conversation about how we can bring some of that primal wisdom into our modern kitchens. Your stories might inspire someone else to take a step toward a more varied and mindful way of eating. If you found this journey into the past as fascinating as I did, give the video a thumbs up. It helps the channel reach more curious minds who are eager to explore the hidden chapters of human history. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing and ringing the notification bell so you won't miss the next deep dive into topics like ancient toolmaking, forgotten survival techniques, and the latest archaeological breakthroughs. Together, we'll keep uncovering the secrets that shaped us and continue to shape the future. Remember, the story of our ancestors is still being written, and each of us has a role in that ongoing narrative. By learning from the past, we can make better choices today, ensuring that the legacy of resilience, ingenuity, and respect for the natural world lives on. Thanks for watching, and until the next adventure, stay curious, stay hungry for knowledge, and keep exploring the world around you.